Not gonna lie, sometimes y'all concern me. I did not think that people would be up to 5 a.m. Sasaki. Oh my goodness. For those that have just joined, hello. Today will be a little bit different compared to like our previous videos, well, streams, where we focused on recreating a. People want to see the Nethyr. I mean, fair. That's very fair. Apparently, a lot of you want to see me, which is very interesting. I will get into that later, but what was I saying? I was saying that this stream will be a little bit different. It's probably going to be a little bit more casual and not really like on a very specific topic. Mainly because I want to take a break from the projects for a little bit and actually review GDScript, because the next step after learning these classic games, I want to be able to make my own custom games. One of the things that I want to make first after these projects is a visual novel. I decided a visual novel would probably be the best for me at this time because one, I am very familiar with writing fiction. I have previous experience with that. Two, I have made a visual novel before, but in a game jam setting. So I want to see, can I make a visual novel in a more structured setting that I just pace myself and not just push myself in 72 hours to put out a whole visual novel. And three, I want to apply what I learned from Godot and put it into a custom project that I designed myself. I want to see like if I actually learned from what I am doing. And I think the best way to go about this is go back to GDScript. Take a look at it, see how it works, really understand the documentation regarding Godot, and then have a GDD, a game design document, just to document like what kind of game will this visual novel be and going through that process. I learned about GDDs a couple years ago, and it's just a way for you to like keep it to the script, because if you derail too much, that affects the overall development and how much time you're taking. So we're trying to keep the scope low, but also make something that I feel like would be worthwhile. So let's go ahead and see the video. And yeah, this time around, it's a lot more like just chatting for the most part. We have Brackies here, and I'm gonna take notes here as well. So we're just gonna hang out. But feel free to let me know how your guys' day has been going. I feel like my own day, well, has been very chaotic. So I actually want to take the stream on a more relaxing note, while also learning. But also, like recently, I became a lot more active on Blue Sky. And on Blue Sky, I basically went from 500 or so followers to 1,000.5 followers. And we're gonna celebrate that soon, eventually. I plan to show a sneak peek of the model moving, uh, and then a voice reveal, because people on Blue Sky have never heard my voice before. Nethyr is I wouldn't say popular. I don't know what happened, to be honest, but I think it's because I don't really involve myself with engagement bait. That's my main guess, and I rather have like thorough conversation. You deserve it. Thank you, Aki. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy. And it's also kind of nerve wracking because, like, literally, whenever I look at my Blue Sky, I get a new follow. Dun, 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 and I'm like, what's happening? I'm just existing. That's literally all that's happening. So, there will be a model reveal showing the model that the image that you see right now actually moving as a 2D VTuber model, and also a voice reveal. But if you're here on the stream, you know what my voice sounds like. Duh. But for the Blue Sky people, they have not really heard my voice unless they jumped onto stream. So yeah. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna look at both like Godot documentation, really understanding this. I mainly want to focus on the user interface because hey, a visual novel is essentially a bunch of menus you click through. You're just entertained by the whole narrative. And I want to be able to like make a visual novel from scratch. So like I would make the art, I would make the writing, and coding it myself. I don't know about music yet. I'm probably gonna get free made music that's just open to anybody, because like I cannot make music at this time. I do not have the skills for it. That's the one thing I have no skills in besides coding. But yeah, let's go ahead and see what Brockies has to say about GDScript. And it's a whole hour. So we're just gonna hang out for quite a bit. We're gonna do as much as we can.
Script, a high-level, object-oriented, imperative, and gradually typed program.
Oh, okay. I'm seeing that it's doubling. Let's not have it double. That was probably loud. I'm so sorry. Let me put it lower.
Programming language with syntax a lot like Python, built specifically for Godot. I know that sounds like a lot, but today we're going to learn it.
It does sound like a lot, but after being able to make Godot projects, like follow along tutorials, it's not as overwhelming as I thought it was because there's some very clear steps in Godot.
While it's of course impossible to cover everything an entire programming language has to offer in just one video, we'll certainly try. In fact, we'll cover everything from variables and conditionals to getting input, inheritance, dictionaries, signals, and the list goes on.
Okay, so I'm familiar with a few of these words, but I definitely feel like I want to understand what directory is, and I want to better understand signals, because signals are pretty unique in Godot. The if-else statements, those functions and stuff, that's like pretty common in other programming languages, so I'm very interested in the more Godot-specific ones.
And who knows, perhaps we'll even figure out what GD stands for. Gandalf script? Green Day script? Gadolinium? We might never know. We'll start with the things that are considered to be...
You can push the video audio a tad up if you want. Oh, okay. I just don't want to hurt your guys' ears.
most important for beginners, and then move on to more
abstract
programming concepts as we progress. It's not as much a follow along as it is an overview. So, if you're a beginner, lean back and know that you don't have to understand everything the first time. Also, it's totally okay to stop the video and try some of these things out. You can always...
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for letting me know about the audio issues. I want to make sure that anybody who's watching, like hanging out, seeing this can enjoy it too. And I want to be able to do a couple of these watch nights because, to be honest, I really want to watch some videos from the GDC conference, so the game developers. Oh my goodness! Thank you, Cami Moop, for the follow. You just literally scared me with that alert. Hello, welcome. I'm Nethyr, the X-Final boss, and right now we're learning more about Godot by reviewing GDScript. I'm watching a video, just hanging out, just chilling, but things in the future. I want to be able to have streams where we're reacting to GDC talks. Like, there's some really cool post-mortems out there that I really want to watch, but I know that it's going to be a lot. That scared you? Oh no, Grio! Are you okay? Hello! I like your little burb emote. The little birdie is very cute. I hope you've been doing well.
Always come back to it at a later time. We've made sure to split everything into clearly named sections.
Oh boy. Okay, let's see. Which ones am I familiar with? I'm not familiar with random numbers. Like, I don't know the context of that. I don't know what get set is. I don't know what that is. I know what documentation is to a degree, right? Arrays. Oh my gosh. So when I first started learning programming, I was just stuck on arrays. Like I just did not get it. But now that I thought of arrays as like bullet points, that made it so much easier to think about. Like I basically choose a bullet point and I apply it to the next function and stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then loops, if else statements, recursive. I still can't believe I actually was introduced to recursion because of Minesweeper. I still don't get recursions, but someday I will. Dictionaries, I don't know what this is. This is probably referencing like variables I made? Question mark. But I see that there's a variables 1. There's variables 2.0. Comment, yeah, I know what comments are. If these are if else statements, like, oh, if you fulfill this requirement, you do this, but if you do not, you do else. An array is a contiguous area of memory, the alignment of which is that of the type of array. Sorry, I don't want to. My brain is like, huh? What's that? I just know that arrays are like lists and that starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I can call like list item number 1 and then apply it to the next thing. That's like how I see it visually at this time. I'm still learning, Aki. Okay. Signals. Yeah, some of these I'm like, okay, I'm familiar with them. And then the later I go on, I'm like, whoa, I'm not familiar with them at all. So we're gonna learn a lot today. Well, as much as we can with me. We gotta teach you CS 101. Ah, yeah. We truly do. Okay, dictionaries are just like arrays, but instead of every item just having a number, it can have a name or a number or whatever as long as it's unique. Oh, okay. Dictionaries might be a lot easier to me than I thought because I have a broad writing background. And that makes sense to me.
So hopefully you'll be able to use this as a reference manual going forward. And if you're a seasoned programmer transitioning to GDScript, this video should provide you with a nice overview of the tools at your disposal and how to approach doing different things. Keep in mind that this is a video on GDScript, not an introduction to Godot. So if you've never opened up Godot before, I suggest you begin with our video on making your very first game in Godot.
I've done that multiple times already. So I was like, let's go with this because I've seen like the functions, the onReady, the variables, right? But what exactly do they mean? You know?
Alright, without further ado, let's learn GDScript. But first, this video is sponsored by Codecrafters. If you've been writing,
I don't want an ad. No me gusta. I don't want an ad. I mean, I can see it. Ooh, the art's there. Ad. Get out of here. I don't want an ad. Poor ad. Yeah, I'm removing the ad.
hello world. So here we are in an empty Godot project. It's really spacious in here. As it is custom, let's begin by making a script and adding some code to print a message. To do that, we need a test scene, so let's go and hit the plus. I'll add in a node, rename it to main, and let's save this as a scene. So I'll hit Ctrl S, hit save. Let's add a script by pressing the scroll. We'll use the default template, and the name of the script should be main as well with a non-capital M. This creates a script with 2 functions. We'll start by focusing on the top one named ready. Think of this as the start of our game.
Okay, because I always seen the function ready, the function process, but I don't like have a full grasp on that. I just know they exist. That's like the main thing. So within script, 2 functions, not 23, 2 functions, and those functions will be function. So this is like refers to the start of the game. Hello, Purple Fish. Welcome on in. Hope you've been doing well. Function underscore process delta. I remember Doug telling me about delta, and I'm like, that's gonna take a while for me to learn. Okay.
As it says here, this function is called when the node enters the scene tree for the first time, which happens right when we play our game. So we can put code in here that we want to happen immediately. I'll get rid of the other function for now. You can zoom in by holding down Control while scrolling. Now right now the only thing in our ready function is the pass keyword. Pass basically means do nothing, and it will...
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, pass. And then, since I don't know what that does specifically, I'm just gonna put random terms. So, if I see pass, that equals do nothing. Smiley face. Passive aggressive smiley face. Yes.
Will appear in functions we haven't filled out yet. So let's replace it with some code that prints our message. We'll write print, and inside of the parentheses, we'll put our message in quotation marks, hello world. We can then run the game by pressing this button here or hitting F5. It's going to ask us which scene we are going to run. We'll hit select current. And while our game isn't very exciting yet, we can now see that the console prints our message. The output window here, or the console, is where it will display prints and is also where we check for errors. Now to stop our game from running, we press the stop button here or press F8. Syntax. Now this might have worked.
Okay, syntax. I can learn about syntax. Syntax. Which is essentially the style of the code.
For you, and it might not. That's because there are a few things to be aware of when writing GDScript. The first is that statements like print here terminate with a new line. There's no need to add a semicolon at the end like in many C-based languages. And GDScript, similar to a language like Python, uses indentation to determine the structure of your code. This means that you use...
Oh, okay. Uses indentation to determine... What is that phrasing? Because I remember when I was learning JavaScript, it uses the semicolons, but okay. So it's dependent on indentation, but it determines what
language
exactly.
like Python uses indentation to determine the structure of your code. This means that you use tabs to tell GDScript where your code belongs. In our example here, I'm using a tab to tell Godot that our print line belongs to the ready function. If I delete this tab, I get an error.
Oh, okay. So it's basically how you arrange it physically. Okay. I remember experiencing a couple errors like that where, oh, this line specifically does not work. Why? Well, it was in the wrong tab section, so I have to make sure everything's properly aligned.
Also, GDScript is case sensitive. So if I write print with a capital P, I will also get an error. So just a couple of things to look out for there.
It's case sense. That's an example. Print versus print are different. It can cause an error if you want to put print hello world dun dun dun. Like that. Okay.
Now printing to the console is cool. Or I mean, maybe not as cool as backflips, but well, I can't teach you to do those. But I can teach you how to display text in the game window instead.
Well, hey Tanguris, how am I doing? It's been a rocky day, but I'm getting through it. I'm mainly seeing this stream as like a place where we just hang out and chill. Because honestly, that's what I really need right now, like good company. But overall, it will get better soon. I mean, the game I worked on, in my day job, it will be released this Friday. You can probably guess which one it is if you've seen me around long enough. But for those that don't know yet, I won't say it until the day of. I'm just, to be honest, I'm very proud of that particular game. Because I've seen that game for a very long time, and to see it just come to life, I feel very proud of it. No matter what the public perception is, it's something that I'm proud of. Ooh, congrats. Thank you. And it's funny to like learn programming for game development, but then day job is technically game development. I just work on a very specific function, so I don't touch the programming as much. So it's like I'm better learning about what my coworkers do and understanding their perspective as well. And it's a really like humbling experience.
To do that, we'll need to modify a node through script. Modifying nodes. 1.0.
Ooh.
First, we need a node to modify.
Okay, let's get to modifying nodes in my notes. I like how straightforward Brachy's is, and it really helps that there's different chapters.
Let's use a label. So I'll add a new node. Choose.
I actually just pre-downloaded the game because you can do that if you purchased it, and I'm very excited to play it, honestly.
Use label. I'll zoom in, center it on the screen. Make some more room. Let's add a default text. This is a label. I'll center it and override the font size. Now, to edit the text of this label through script, we need two things. We need a reference to the label, and we need to access the property in the label that we want to change. In this case, the text. If we hover over text, we can see the name of the property through script, which is text with a non-capital T. So in our main script, we'll first get a reference, and we can actually do this by simply taking the label and dragging it into our ready function.
I really love that so much. It makes things so much easier. Like, imagine you have so many, like, scenes and, like, nodes and stuff here, and you're like, oh, which one? Drag it over. Da da da. That makes it so much easier. It's such good ease of use. Okay. So, he was saying that in order to modify a node, I need to make sure I have the property, the label dot text. Hello. Ooh, you probably cannot see my notes. Like, it's right there. So label dot text. Text here equals property. And then the label itself equals the node that we get it from. I think that's what I meant. Let's scroll back.
Dragging it into our...
Oh, you saw that part?
We need a reference to the label.
Ah, okay. So, but with this, the label is like the reference. Well, node that we are referencing. And to be honest, when I see this with the text changing, it makes me wonder. That is something I will most likely do for the visual novel, but how do I do that where when I click on an arrow, it moves to the next text? Like, I need to figure that out.
And we need to access the property in the label that we want to change. In this case, the text. If we hover over text, we can see the name of the property through script, which is text with a non-capital T. So in our main script, we'll first get a reference, and we can actually do this by simply taking the label and dragging it into our ready function.
Ooh, are you visual noveling this? Sorry if you already explained. Yeah, it's all good. I can like re-explain. So my goal here is to review GDScript because now that I've had a few Godot projects under my belt that I've just followed the tutorial of, I want to be able to make a game by myself with what I've learned with Godot. And, well, it's not very hard. The only hard part is there's dozens of ways to do it, and you have to pick. Oh, I have to pick one. Oh, that's not fun. But yeah, I want my first custom project to be a visual novel. One, because I have done visual novels before, at least one of them, and I want to be able to program it myself. Going to be helping a friend out with programming a visual novel in Godot soon. We'll be absorbing knowledge from the stream. Oh, nice! I hope that goes well. But right now, it's like just trying to figure out what exactly, like, okay, what nodes would I be making for that visual novel and stuff. So it's not very concrete. I recommend looking at videos dedicated towards that. This one is more of an exploratory sort of thing so that I learn how to look up documentation when I need to. I already know that I'm probably going to use a lot of the user interface because I'm looking at a lot of text for a visual novel. So I want to be able to have buttons for the player to use to go backwards or forwards, buttons for saving, buttons for like looking into different menus about a character that they are befriending. And the character that would be in this visual novel that I'm making is probably going to be me. Main reason for some reason, some of you want a dating sim of me. I don't know why, but apparently that's a thing y'all want, and I'm like, okay, I can oblige. It won't go too well, but I could try. Oh, Toads, I wanted to watch stream while working anyway. Extra benefit that you're working on something similar. Yay! Let's go! Let's go!
Then we can access the property by going dot, and we'll type in text and set it equal to hello world. And now when we play, our label changes to hello world. And we can use this exact method to change other things as well, such as the color of the text. In fact, there is a property called modulate, which allows us to tint sprites and UI elements. In the inspector, you can find it all the way down here under visibility. Let's change it to green.
You know, that'd be really fun, because, like, I've seen visual novels be very static, but, like, what if I could animate the text and have them change colors just to add more emphasis to what the characters are saying? I think that'd be very funny. Especially when you've seen, like, glitch text. That would be really fun to incorporate.
So again, we'll click and drag to create a reference to the label, write dot modulate, and set it equal to color dot. Here we have a bunch of different colors. We'll choose green. And voila, our label is now green. So this is how we can make changes to nodes when our game is running. But right now, not much is happening during our game. So let's see how we can use input to make our game respond to our actions.
Okay, I want to get that example. Where's that modulate? Yeah, that one. I want that one. Okay, so another example for the color label dot text equals color dot green. I can spell green, I swear. Yeah, oh, it's modulate. Okay, so understanding what those, okay, the property plus the node reference. Okay. Yeah, so to modulate. Okay, so an example text or modulate, and then the label itself. Okay, I can get that. Godot has a built-in node called rich text label that has some fun. Oh, rich text label. Okay, I'm gonna take note of that one. Rich text label. No! I don't want LibreOffice. Jeez Louise. Rich text label. It's specifically a that's a node for built-in text. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I could play with that. Because I've seen some games where they really just edit it out, and I think that's pretty sick.
Here we have a bunch of different colors. We'll choose green. And voila, our label is now green. So this is how we can make changes to nodes when our game is running. But right now, not much is happening during our game. So let's see how we can use input to make our game respond to our actions. Input.
I like how he's trying to make it dramatic so that we know, like, oh, we're going to a new section.
Let's say we want to turn this label red when we press the spacebar. To do this,
input.
we first need to set up an input action. We'll go project, project settings, input map. Here we can add actions.
And then input map. Oh, I've played with this a little bit. So when I was making the Space Invaders one, I had to put in the input for like the arrow keys or the WASD keys so that I can move the little character. And input map is a wonderful way to do that because you literally just click on things to make it happen, and it's great.
Actions allow us to bind keys to something that we want to happen. Common actions would be shoot, jump, or so on.
So because I'm making a visual novel, I don't think I need an input as much unless like the visual novel has RPG elements where the character like walks around and stuff. But I don't know if I want to do that yet because I feel like my next project after the visual novel is probably going to be an RPG Maker-esque. Pressing space for next can be oh, you're right. Yeah. That's true for VN. Pressing spacebar to go next. Yeah, that's a good point. You don't want to just click on everything. A tired QA. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Honestly, I really, really respect QA testers. They do so much good work, and the way that they're treated in the industry, I wish they were treated so much better. They deserve so much. Like, they're the reason why games are a whole lot more playable, and we can have more complicated games. I test a lot of VNs, and having control keyboard support is so helpful. Okay, good to note. I'll put that in my notes. Purple Fish says, hello, joyful jesters. Welcome on in. Hope you've been doing well. QAs for games are like janitors for yeah, like people take them for granted, but without them, we would be suffering. Absolutely suffering. But I can see the analogy. It's just different. Yeah. Keyboard support is helpful for
In our case, we wanted to change a color. I'll just go ahead and call it my action so we can use it later for other things. Now let's hit add, and here's our action. Let's bind a key to it by pressing plus. It's now listening for input. I'm gonna press the spacebar and hit OK. And now our spacebar is bound to my action. Then in our script, we need to create an input function. We'll write func for function underscore input, and let's hit enter to autocomplete.
So if I wanted to do the VN, okay, we would go to project settings, right? And then we go to input map. And then the action that I'm going to define it as go next page. And then I would select the space bar for going to the next page. Okay. And then after that, I need to define the function. I need to describe the interaction. Do you know how we can learn from documentation? I want to learn Unity scripting and I suck at it. So basically what I'm doing right now for Godot can be applicable for Unity. So right now I'm watching a video that's like breaking down GDScript for me, like the syntax, the inputs. I literally just started. But there's like a lot of content out there for that. And also just having this out there for you. To be honest, it's a little bit overwhelming to look at all of the documentation. So what I did was focus on like, okay, what kind of project do I want to make with Unity? And then I'm gonna focus on making that specific thing, so that I can like focus in on anything that's relevant to the project. So in my case, I want to make a visual novel with Godot. So I'm going to pay more attention to user interface rather than shaders, because shaders is like for a 3D exploration type of game, honestly. Like something that's like a more 3D environment. So I'm going to focus on the things that I'm personally more interested in for Godot and go from there, because I cannot learn everything here right away. I feel like for me, I'm gonna learn game development on an iteration basis and go from there. Because if I try to learn everything from the get go, I'm gonna be overwhelmed. And if you're overwhelmed, it's gonna stop you from continuing to learn about something you actually really like. And that's the last thing you need. So it's like being able to limit it to a specific project can help you determine what to do next. So I recommend figuring out what kind of game do you want to make with Unity. Then from there, find videos and resources about that specific game genre. And then looking at the looking at the Unity documentation to see like, okay, what is relevant for this project? iteration is the way to go. Just gotta get in and try it before you know what you need to learn next. Yeah, exactly. And for me, I wanted to keep it easy because when it comes to programming, I'm not the most experienced at programming. So I want to keep it simple, but also it appeals to my strengths. And my strengths are in writing and in art. So I can like make designs and little characters for the visual novel. I can also write different types of characters. So I'm going to use the strengths of mine into the visual novel. So I hope that that's a decent explanation of what I'm trying to do, and I hope that you can apply it to Unity as well. So the function input event. Okay, because we already defined the input map for a specific action, so we need to define it further in the script.
Now, just like ready, this is one of the built-in functions of Godot. But instead of being called at the start of the game, it runs every time the game receives any input, such as when we press a button. Event is what we call the information about what triggered the function. Was it a movement of the mouse or the press of a key?
Ooh, I see a little bit more. How will you be able to do your very own task? Like, if you want to make a fishing rod, how will you visualize your rod and the fish incoming and the string connected to the fish hook and fishing rod? So, the cool thing about game development is that that very thing you're asking about, it can be done in so many different ways. If you look at farming sims and how they do a fishing mini game, like for example with Coral Island, what they have is basically like you're waiting for the fish to bite the line, and then once it bites the line you press a specific button to get the fish. Well, in a farming sim like Stardew Valley, there's instead a bar, right? And you have to make sure that the bait stays within a certain area so that you can get the fish. So it depends on like what you're trying to do with that fishing game. Like if you're going for a realistic fishing game, then you need to think a bit more about physics and like the timing of it. If you want something that's just like a simple mini game just to experience it, then like the Stardew Valley route. But yeah, it really depends on how in depth you want to go with this fishing rod. So is the fishing game supposed to be the main mechanic in this game? Then spend more time on it. If it's just a mini game, you don't need to spend as much time on it. As long as it works and it adds to your own game loop, you'll be fine. At least that's how I think about it. And also, like, that also depends on whether or not you're going 2D versus 3D or even like 2.5D. There's just a lot of it. In Breath of the Wild, you can get fish by throwing a bomb at. See, there's like different ways to go about fishing. Like the act of fishing in a video game doesn't have to be the same in every single video game, as long as it makes sense within the context of the game itself, and it's fun. And honestly, like figuring out what is fun can be a bit difficult. It takes a lot of practice, so you basically need to experiment quite a bit. I mean, I'm not able to draw string. I'm able to draw animation only and a hook, but I'm not able to draw string. Well, thing is, do you need a string to convey that you're fishing? And in that case, I would focus more on your strengths right now rather than the weaknesses and making your project around that. Because if you're trying to overcome a bunch of weaknesses, again, it'll overwhelm you. I hope that makes sense.
We need to check if the event that triggered the input was our action being pressed. So we'll write if event.isActionPressed, and as you can see, our action shows up here, my action.
Okay, so if I defined it, so if I define the action as like, so action equals next page, right? And then the input equals the space bar. So if I wanted to code it in here, so if the event, that's if event dot is action underscore pressed, and then I specifically put the next page as that one, then it would be a colon, And then type it below here. Yeah, no prob. Also, I go by a Daidam. You don't need to refer to me as a woman. Thank you. Just Nethyr is fine. You don't need to refer to me as a gendered term. Okay. Remember my action equals spacebar. Okay, that one we're aware of, so.
Then we'll put in a colon, and if we pressed my action, well then we'll change the color. So we'll drag in the label, write dot modulate, and set it equal to color dot red.
Okay, so now that I set up the input, in the script I need to define what exactly happens when it's pressed. So in my case, if the event is action pressed, right, over here, I want to specifically go to the next page, then I would have to do something like page dot. I don't know. There's probably a term I could use for this that it's a feature that's a property of page. And then it would go to like next. It would just go to well, actually, it might be easier if I do something like this. So we're gonna do a comment, right? So this comment is gonna define the node we are referencing, and then property of said node equals clean page. I'm trying to like really think of it in like layman's terms so I know what I'm doing. So we're going to reference the node. We're going to the reference node and the property of said node, and we want to do something to that property, which is probably to like go to next text. We'll probably define what that means later, because I don't know what this part is. So I'm probably gonna put another comment. Go to next text equals need to figure out what this would be in Godot terms, where the page clears and new text appears from a text file, probably a text file, something like that.
And we can just as easily check if the action was released. We'll go if event.isAction released this time, my action. Well, then we'll take the exact same line and change it back to green. So
oh, okay, so if event dot is action released. Oh, that would help a lot actually, because instead of going to the next text, it would clear page, right? Although it might be a little bit extra. I'm just gonna use this as an example in general. So if the event is action released, then actually let me go. Okay, property of said node, we add new text from .text file for player. That's just an example. It's probably not the most efficient way to go about, but with this example in mind, I could do something like that.
Now when we play and I press the spacebar, it turns red, and when I release it, it turns back to green. That's right, we made a party. A disco party.
Oh, that's flashy. Okay, that kind of hurts. That might be hurting somebody. So let's move that over there.
Now this is just...
Okay, the little party's over. Oh my goodness. I did not think there was something flashy like that. That kind of hurts.
One out.
Yeah, I have a bit of like eye sensitivity, so I actually have to be careful. Which is why most of my streams are very chill and relaxing because I don't want to be over. Yeah, I had to hide the disco. The disco was that was not it.
Of many ways to handle input in Godot, but since we're focusing on the GDScript language, I'm not going to go further into it here. I'll make sure to provide a link to where you can learn more about input if you're interested. Variables.
Okay, we're gonna learn about variables. We've been defining so many variables in our Godot project. Like, oh my goodness, I would have like variable float or variable int, right? But I want to be able to know. Actually, variables 1.0. What do I want to learn for this? When to use a variable type in the context of a game. I want to learn that. I want to yeah, that's basically it. I just want to understand when is best to use a certain variable type.
1.0. Variables are essentially containers that hold information.
No! No! How dare you? I'm learning! Variables are containers that hold data. How dare you? Advertisement, you stinky. Angry. Very angry. I'm waiting for the ad to like skip. Okay. It's Skippy. It's Skippy. Should I get a YouTube Premium so I don't have to deal with ads? That's kind of funny, but still.
In the case of a player character, we could use variables for information like the player's name, health, damage, and perhaps if the player is alive or not. Let's make a health variable. At the top here, I'll write var for variable, the name of our variable, and then we'll set it equal to a default value.
Okay, so what we can do with a variable. So variable health equals 100. So variable equals variable. Health equals name of variable. 100 equals default value of said variable.
Now we can print this variable inside of our ready function. We'll write print health. And if we play, you can see that it now prints 100. Now we can easily change our variable. So before printing, let's assign a new number. Health equals 40. We can also assign a calculation. So health equals 20 plus 30.
I feel like what I'm seeing with the health equals 4, health equals 20 plus 30. That can be for like an RPG setting where you have it predetermines how you level up and such. So like you start out with 20 health, and then maybe there's gonna be some variables that randomize like what stats will be upgraded next and stuff like that. That's what I'm guessing. Eepy.
We'll set our health to 50. We can also add health plus equals, and then 20 will add 20 to our health.
Okay, plus equals 20. So like as I level up, I can plus equals 20 and go from 40 to 60 to 80. Okay. I'm learning. But can I apply it? I don't know yet. I don't know if I can.
And subtract health minus equals. To multiply, we do times equals. And to divide, we do slash equals.
Okay. I'm gonna write down those examples actually, because that would be very useful to know. Ways to edit the default value. Okay, so I can assign a value. I can assign to calculation. I can subtract, multiply, and then divide. So this one would be, if it's divide, it's just this one. And then if it's this, it's the asterisk, that one. Subtract, it's minus equals, if add, plus equals. And then this one will be, I'll do x plus y to determine that one. And assign a value, it would just be like x. Like any numbered variable. Yeah. Ah, whoopsies. Oh no, my notes.
So if we run this now, it will do all of these calculations from top to bottom and then print out the result, which turns out to be 120. Let's look at an example where our player takes some damage and we want to subtract the damage from our health. Let's try decreasing our health variable whenever we press the action we made earlier. So in the input function, we'll check if the action was pressed, and then we'll subtract from our health, and we can print the result.
So that works out when player enters the, man, what's it called? I'm trying to remember, like the boundary that the enemy has, you dock points.
So now every time I press the spacebar bound to my action, we can see that I reduce the health. Really cool. But as you can see, we can currently reduce our health below 0, and nothing happens when we do so. If we were making a game, we'd probably want our player to die and the game to restart. Luckily, we can make our game react to variables by using if statements. If statements, or...
Okay, so it's actually almost 9. I'm thinking, instead of continuing the video, let's actually play with Godot a little bit. Let me change screens real quick. Beep boop. So I don't want to accidentally reveal something. Don't push that button, it hurts. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. Okay, we're gonna do a new project. We're gonna have this be called a test project. Just for us to play with. And I'm gonna browse. I'm gonna find where I need to do this. Okay. Do I already have a test project? Hello? Oh, I already do have one. Oh, not even a little press of the button? No, I will not press button. Okay, yeah, I do already have a test project to play with. Okay, we are going to play with this. Okay, let me change screen. Okay, so we have our little screen. And it actually has a label where we played with Hello World before. I don't remember doing this, actually. Okay, but what we're going to do, we're going to delete this. Yeah, we're going to delete that node, right? We're going to see if I can apply what I learned just within the first 10 minutes and be able to put it here. So, what I remember is that for the main scene, we're going to establish a node. Just a regular node. Right? And then we're going to name this main. Right? And then Control S. And then if you want to play it, okay, this is our main screen, right? And then from our main screen, we want to add a script to it, right? And then let's call this the main GD. And then instances, I don't know what the instance starter is, but we're going to create a folder. We'll call this scenes, right? And then main GD. Then create. And then I remember seeing this. This is like at the start of when this file is open. You can do things. And we're not going to focus on function process right now. But we are going to establish hello world. So what's going to happen is print lowercase, make sure it's within the tab. Hello world. Right? And then we're going to play it, and then it should appear in the console if it works. So play. Yep, it appears in the console here. You cannot see it because the chat's in the way a little bit, but it is there. Here, if it's easier. Yeah, it's appearing right over here. Doing something. We are the... You guys are the console! Hello, world! Sure, just repeat everything I'm saying. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we at least established the main, right? Oh, why is it under label? That's a problem. Interesting. Very interesting. Hello, y'all. Okay. I found an interesting little thingy. Interesting. Well, thank you for the hydrate, Shadow Wolf. I need that. I'm applying what I learned recently and trying to make something from scratch. I want to be able to just print hello world. Should change the world chat to console when you're coding. That's so true. My first programming book had me write game over instead of hello world. Interesting. Huh. What kind of programming book is that? Boyle? Yes, in a stretch. Thank you. He does. Should change the world chat to console when you're coding. That's funny. That's really funny. So the funny thing is about the overlay I'm using, it's actually just a template that I bought. Like this is just overlays I bought. They're not custom. And I'm thinking of making my own overlays sometime. So I really love that idea of where the chat is actually just a console. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, I think I messed up. Right? I'm just gonna accept the fact that I messed up. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I messed up. Okay, okay, we're gonna redo. Yeah, we're gonna redo this. Okay? Yeah, okay, okay. It plays. It plays. Okay. So we have the main, right? We fixed up. Yeah, do it. Load doing custom overlation again. Excited to see what you cook. Thank you. Yeah, I have a couple ideas, and honestly, that's why the debut might take a little bit longer. Because I want to make something decent. It makes the design that much more personal like that. Yeah, I want to be able to make custom overlays with Godot if I can, if it's not too intense. Just cause like my stream setup is very minimal, but I want to add things that are lore related. I want to be able to add things where like, oh, if someone redeems a gachapon, they can get custom items related to my lore and like and then collect them all. And if they collect them all, then they get a little prize at the end or something. Like, I think that'd be kind of cool. Like, equipment related to my lore, and then seeing a bunch of flavor text appear. And then I would read the flavor text out loud. So, yeah. Variable health, just to keep it simple from the example. That will be over there. Over there. Nova Liminal makes her overlay good. Oh, okay. Okay. I've heard of Nova Liminal. Kiri told me about her. I haven't checked her content out fully, but I really should. It sounds awesome. Let's see. Print hello world. Let's see. Let's incorporate the health, shall we? Print. Let's see. Your health is at space, and then I'm trying to remember. Is it plus? Health. Is that it? No, no. It returns void. I want to print that and then health. Is that it? No. Found identifier. Okay, this is when I need to reference documentation. Yeah, I want to be able to state. Oh wait, I stated here. Duh. It's not outside of it. Does it work now? Okay. Okay. Let's see. Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay. Let's call this a string. Yeah. Something. Uh oh. Okay. Let's do this one. That is that how it should be? I'm trying to learn, okay? Okay, cool. So hello world, your health is at 100. Okay, perfect. We have defined that. And then let me see here. If you have something like variable enemy, that means I'm trying to define this. If the enemy equals 10. Yeah, enemy health equals 10. Something like that. Oh, duh. I need underscore. Man, I need underscore. Okay, define that. And then we're gonna do this function. I don't know. We're gonna call it combat, just to keep it simple. If You know, that's a bit too advanced. No. We're gonna keep it at that. Your health is at 100. That's pretty good. Redefining the variable and yeah. I think that's fine. That's fine. But what I want to do next is I want to go to 2D mode and then I want to add a label. Yeah, we're going to, let's see here. And then I saw him, he did this at the center. Yeah. And then this is placeholder text. My sleep is at 1. Oh no, not the slippy. Okay, placeholder text equals 0. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you. I'm learning as much as I can. I am a little baby when it comes to coding, but if we can remake things for after I see them, then that's pretty good. Okay, we're not going to do self-modulation because I don't like the flashy, but I want to change the font size. We're going to change the font size to like as big as we can go. I'm going to make it huge. I'm going to make it humongous. Yeah. Something like this. And then within the label itself, we're going to look at the script of said label. So, actually, can I add a script? Okay, we're gonna call it the label GD. Okay, we have the label GD function ready. We are going to ignore process delta, and then what we're going to do is, I remember this tip. We're going to reference label. What the? Oh! Oh, is it because I already defined it? Is that what's up? Okay. Let me try deleting this then. Yeah. I thought I was gonna delete the script, but okay. Okay. Can I undo? I find that acceptable. We're gonna keep this as pass for now. I am instead going to do. I'm trying to remember. So I can define the label, right? And then I can define the text. And then have this equal hello world. And then I could do this again. So label dot text. Oh wait, let's delete this part, right? Okay. And then so at the first time that I launch this, it should just say this, right? But if I have a function, help define, because we're going to define the help. So we are going to do, we're going to reference the label dot text, and then we're going to have that instead saying of hello world, it'll state the help that the player has. Your help is at blank plus string help. Okay, let's see how that plays. That does not work. Why does it not work? Invalid set index text on base null instance with value of type string. What did I do wrong? Hello? Is it broken load? That's a reference to the same node that the script is on, which is like, yeah, that's what I realized. I was like, huh? That's the same thing. I accidentally made it the same thing. Hello world. But you don't need that to reference yourself, since you can just change your own property. Yeah, this is helpful for like if I'm trying to reference it from a different node. That's when it's useful. Okay, I don't know. I defined it as string, right? Actually, let's make sure this part works. Interesting, that does not work. Okay. Is it because it needs to be in parentheses? Same for you. Then let's play it. Let's do that. Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Okay, that's not it either. I'm gonna take a look at my notes real quick. Let's see, what does my notes say about making it? You know about the action, right? Okay. Yeah, it's just that. Interesting. Yeah, well, huh. I wonder why it's doing that. What is this error? Main, ready. Node not found. Oh, it's not found. Is it because I deleted on accident? Yeah, that's probably why. Yeah, that would do it. That would do it. Okay, delete node. Can I delete the script? Yeah, I'm gonna delete this one. Remove. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Let's see what happens. No. Okay, we are going instead to remove this. Right? I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to apply what I just learned. How dare. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna add a child node. It's gonna be a label. And then said label will have text. This is the placeholder. Okay. This is placeholder text. And then I want to define like the size. So we're going to put it at 50. Okay. And then from here we go to the script. And then since it's there, tab it dot text equals hello. Huh? What? I'm confused. Why? I'm literally just learning. Why is there something wrong with this already? What's happening? Okay, do I remove that? Oh. Invalid set index text. On base, it's a null instance. With value of type string. What? Am I just dumb? I know this is easy to resolve, but I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just learning. Well, I'm gonna save this just in case. Then play it again. And it's gone. Returning no pointer. No pointer live. What am I doing? I'm just gonna stare at it and hope for the best. That's how I feel right now. I'm like, is it doing the thing? I'm a little dumb. Oh, man. I'm just... It's the name of the show. It's the name of my VTuber group, No Pointer. And, yeah, I'm confused. I'm like, wait, I removed the thing. Wait, okay. Node virtual? It's showing me documentation when I click on it. Function ready. The label.text equals hello world. And my reference... Okay, come on. You can close it. Yeah. My reference is just this. I'm like, huh? Thank you for the blurb, Salvi. Hello, welcome. I am trying to figure out what I just learned and apply it. I learned about nodes, and then what the second part is specifically referencing a property of said node. When you click the play button, it runs the starting scene, not necessarily. Oh! play the main scene. That would make sense. Thank you, Cammy Moop. I need that. I'm a little silly dum dum. Okay. Okay. The clapper play button is the one that runs the currency. Yeah, okay. Hello world. We got that part. And then if I want to do an input, right? So we go to project settings and then we go to input map. And then we're gonna add a new action. So we're gonna call this next text. Right? And then this action will be with the spacebar. Yeah. Okay, so it will be with the spacebar, right? And then we're gonna close that. And then when we do function next, I'm gonna have, wait. I don't think it's function, right? Yeah. Yeah, when I remember this, it's if action is, but I don't know what to put that. Where do I put that? Is it if action dot? If event is action press. If event dot is script press. Okay, I remember seeing this. I forgot to put. If action is pressed. Next. Okay, is that correct? No, that's not correct. Okay, project settings. Next text. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I remember in the video. Okay. Oh, I can't remember. I'm gonna look at the video. I don't remember what that is. Okay, is it this variable? No. Yeah, it's an input. I think it's an input. Okay, you have to define a function. Of course, that makes sense. Yeah. Specifically, let's undo this, okay? And then so function is input event. That's the one I did not take note of. And then if the event is action pressed next text.
If we press my action, well then we'll change the color.
I need to define it. Next text equals colon, and then we're gonna drag the label over here. And drag label, not text. The new text that will appear instead. The one that I wanted to put is the variable. The variable help equals 100 equals your help is at blank plus string help. Okay, let's see how this plays. Hello world. Your halt is at 100. And then it just ends there. I did it! I got it to go to the next text. Perfect. That is exactly what I wanted. Okay. No S. But I can't just repeat it over and over again. But hey, it works. Where it just plays this. Oh. Plays this. Hello world. We did it. Your health is at 100. With the variable defined. Aha! Let's go. You could define another function. It could be like function interact combat. Yeah, I could design that later, but that's the basis of what I'm learning. Okay, okay, I can apply it. Let's go. I can be a little smart when I want to. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, let's continue and see what else we'll learn. I believe I'm at... Yeah, I'm at if-else statements. But also, I'm going to take note of this for function input event, because that's the one I forgot. The function input yeah, I need to make sure I have something like that. Okay, input, oh, no quotations, just an actual event. Okay, something like that. Sweet. Okay, let's continue watching the video.
We'll drag in the label, write .modulate, and set it equal to color.red. And we can just as easily check if the action was released. We'll go...
Oh wait, let me skip that because it hurts my eyeballs.
If statements. If statements or conditionals. If statements are the glue that holds all of our logic together. We've actually already used if statements to check if our action was pressed, but they can do so much more. Yet they are really simple. An if statement is just a condition that needs to be met in order for the code inside to be run. Let's add an if statement here to check if our health reaches 0. So I'll make some room, write if health is less than or equal to 0. Well, then we'll set our health to 0, and we'll print that we died.
Oh, you died.
And now when our health gets to 0, it prints you died. Now here we're using less than and equal to compare our health to the value 0. But there are many more comparisons we can make. Here are all the comparisons we use, such as is equal to, is not equal to, and so on. We can...
Okay, that's good to know. I'm gonna take note of that. Because that's something I have not remembered. So, is equal to, is greater than, is greater than or equal to, is not equal to, is less than... Oh! Ah, Trippy, thank you for the stretch. I need that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh. Oh, thank you for the hydrate too. I appreciate that. Oh. Is less than or equal to. So that one is x equals line. Something like that. Oh wait, that? Huh? Oh, interesting. It does it for me. Okay. But, yeah. There you go. I mean, this is kind of like a no-brainer, but like, it's good to know, especially with the equal to. I'm like, huh? That can be a little confusing. A no brain. Ah! I see what you did there. Oh, no, I don't want the equal. Y? Not equal. It's with an exclamation point. So x equals y. Oh! There we go. There we go.
Also add more conditions to one if statement. We use the AND keyword to add another condition.
Oh, okay. If x and y are equal to each other, and y is greater than z, okay. So we can have and. I'm assuming we can have or.
where both need to be met, and the OR keyword to add a condition where only one of them needs to be met.
Both conditions need to be met.
Now, one really useful thing about if statements is that we can not only define what happens when the condition is true, we can also choose what happens when it's false. We do this using the else keyword. Let's add an else to print that we are still alive if our health hasn't reached 0 yet. So if our health is less than or equal to 0, we died. Else, we print, you are healthy. And even cooler, we can chain together if statements using else if or elif for short. So we check if our health reaches 0, and if not, else if elif our health goes below 50, well then we'll print that we are injured. And if neither of these two are true, we'll go to else and say that we are healthy. And if we play, we can see that at 80 we are healthy, at 60 we are still healthy, then we are injured, and at 0 we die. Very cool. Note that the if statement we made here is nested under another if statement. You can easily layer if statements to get more and more specific functionality. However, try not to overdo it. You can quickly get lost in the ifs. Actually, a lot of people don't know this, but that's why programmers and philosophers have so much in common. We both tend to spend a lot of time with the ifs and the what ifs. So if you get frustrated along the way, remember that so was Plato. Anyway, that's it for if statements. Comments. We use comments to help explain and remember the what and the why of our code.
Okay, I think I get comments and such, but I actually may need to cut it a bit shorter than usual because I'm feeling sleepy and I got work tomorrow. So I feel like this is a good place to stop. We don't want to overwhelm ourselves. And something I really want to showcase, like as a streamer, is that you don't need to stream for a long time to have a good time. Especially in the case of like learning something. If you're at it for more than an hour and 30 minutes, that's some pretty good concentration. But with that in mind, that also takes a lot. So I think what I need to do is really decompress what I learned. And we learned about the syntax, how it's really important to tab things in your code. We learned about modifying nodes, like how do you get specific ones to be edited with an input and such. Or well, in this case, like referencing the node and then the node's property and then editing it in the script instead of like in the tab on the right. What else have we learned? We learned about variables and it didn't answer my questions about variable type, like when do you use them. But I think once I understand what those variable types are, it'll be a lot clearer to me. We also learned about if statements a bit. So it at least showed me a key on like, okay, if we want to show that it's equals to, we do a double equal sign. If you want to show that they're not equal to each other, exclamation point that equal sign. See, we're slowly getting it. Yes, we are. I'm just decompressing. I will note though, before I end stream, I do want to share that this Friday, no stream at all. I'm gonna be busy. My game launches on Friday. I have work on Friday. I actually have some pretty important things to do. Next Monday though, we'll probably continue like looking through Rocky's video and going from there. But for Rocky's video, actually, let's timestamp. We are currently at 13:06. Currently at 13:06. So that next time we watch this, we can go a lot farther. I want to be able to finish this whole video. And really hone it down and practice it with my test project. Now, is there anything else? Be sure to follow me on Blue Sky. I'm gonna be a whole lot more active there. I love the vibe of it. So for context, if you're not familiar with social media, Twitter kind of imploded again because Elon Musk wants to do something with the block system that makes it ineffective, and that really frustrates people. So people decided to move to Blue Sky so that, hey, they're at a place where the block button actually still works. So they're working on that over there. And I became a lot more active on Blue Sky, and I grew a lot to the point where I am at 1.5k. So for 1000, I'm actually going to do a little model reveal and voice reveal. So I might need a little help figuring out what exactly to say, but I'm honestly going to make it short and sweet and then like a more custom one um after said post. So we shall see. Let me see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, the one other thing is that my streams will be slowing down quite a bit. I will actually be on vacation starting like middle of December. So when that happens, I'm not going to be around. But I'm going to continue working on my redebut. Which includes a new VTuber model, new assets, new sounds, new backgrounds, you name it. I'm very excited, and also showcasing more of my lore too. Very excited for that. I'm gonna go ahead and see if we could raid anybody. If not, it's okay. It's okay. There you go. There's the chatting. Oh, I realized something too. Where is the thing that I am looking for? There we go. Yeah, there we go. We want to get the chat up. Why is the chat not up? Probably because I was editing this quite a bit, to be fair. Discord audio via the tube. Yeah, restream chat. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go ahead and check out who we should raid, okay? I'm also going to touch on the reduce the desktop audio. Mute it. Alright, let's see here. Who is online? Restwell. Thank you, Griot. Thank you so much for coming by. I think I can keep it chill right now. So, with that, good night, netizens. I'll see you all again on Monday. If you haven't already, feel free to join my Discord. Feel free to follow me on social media. It would be very much appreciated. Alright, so with that, good night, netizens. I'll see you next week. Bye bye. Do your best.